Jazzcast Pros.
Welcome to Grace and Grind, the podcast redefining what it means to think like a lady but act like a boss, all while helping female professionals navigate the intricacies of the workplace with poise, confidence, and grace. I'm your host, Dr. Pamala Brown-Grinion, certified executive coach and internationally credentialed etiquette, manners, and life skills expert with the British School of Excellence. And as the CEO of Totally Unique, I have had the privilege of empowering and navigating thousands of women and girls on their personal and professional development journeys for almost 3 decades. Hello there, graceful grinders. This is your etiquette coach, Dr. Pamala Brown-Grinion. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into my first episode. Today, we're going to have a great time, and I am so grateful that you are here. So today, we are going to be taking some questions, some previous questions that I got from some of my mentees and some of my coachees. And, I asked them, what do you think people want to know about me? And so they sent me in some questions, and I purposefully have not looked at the questions. This will be my first time looking at these questions. And so I do have the email ready for me to just open up. So I am going to take the questions now, and I'm going to answer these questions. Oh my gosh, this is a little bit nerve-wracking because when you don't know what people are going to ask you, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm just going to grab these questions just randomly, okay? So one of the young ladies asked, what challenges have you faced in your career and how have you overcome them? All right. A challenge that I faced in my career was sometimes being the only Black woman in the room. And you have to really have some really serious confidence, or that's when if you don't, then you really have to tap deep into your ancestral Black girl magic and just remember your roots and where you came from, and just realize how far the matriarchs in your family made it with way, way, way less than you have. So how dare you not rise to the occasion? And that's what I do. I remind myself of who I am and what I'm capable of. And I do just like, oh my gosh, I can't recall his name. But anyways, I remind myself of my past victories, and I tell myself, if you did this, if you did this, if you did this, surely you can stand in this room and be the only sister representing, hold your own, be taken seriously, and not cower or reduce yourself to anyone because you belong in the room. I think that was one of the, and not one, because I've experienced that multiple times. I would say that is a serious challenge for many successful Black women when you go into a room and sometimes you're the only one representing, and you have to represent. So you do. So that would be my answer to that question. That was a tough one, but thank you. All right. Second question. What leadership lessons have you learned as a woman of color leader? And what advice would you give to future leaders? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if it's the most, but I would say one of the most beneficial lessons that I've learned as a Black successful business person, or considered to be a Black successful woman, that you always have to send the elevator back down. Send the elevator back down, but don't just send it down. Be on the elevator. Go down, get a baby sister, take her by the hand, reassure her that she never has to walk this journey alone, and then gradually you introduce her and sponsor her on these next levels, these next floors,
to the people that are supposed to pour into her to take her to that next floor. Like, be with her and don't just send her down and on her own, especially if you know you have the expertise. Lend yourself, lend your service, and help a baby sister get to the next level. Next question. Why did you want to start a podcast? Well, I think it's a natural extension of what I already do in a brick and mortar building and online, and now to offer similar advice, but invite other professional women in. I just think that's a natural extension. That's one reason. The second reason is I felt like there was a void. Now, that's not to say that I know everything about every podcast that's out there, because I don't, but I felt like there was a void for, it's like that Dear Baby Sister letter where you say, okay, I'm here. I've experienced this, this, and this. I'm going to share this with you with hopes that you can learn from my life, from my mistakes, from my lessons. And some things, you know, maybe you don't have to repeat some of the tribulations that we go through because of our decisions, because we didn't have an example. And so I just want to invite other women on to share with me this platform to be examples for our baby sisters, or maybe even women that our age or older that could be going through some of the same life lessons, or, you know, workplace lessons or personal development lessons, whatever. I just wanted to fill that void. And, you know, I got so tired of every time I went on social media, I would see a video of one of my fellow sisters cussing out somebody in the fast food restaurant or in a grocery store, and then I experienced that when I was at a Dollar Tree last week, and I was just saying, man, like, come on, like we have to be our sisters' keepers, and our sisters have to lend their ear and hear when another sister is extending to you in love that that's not the best representation of yourself. That's not the best representation of me. And that's not the best representation of us as the Black Women Collective. And so I just felt like there was a void, and why not me? You know, why not me? And I felt led to do this. Like, I feel like this is part of my professional journey. So I hope I answered your question. All right, let me grab the next question. Have you ever been so discouraged that you wanted to give up? Honey, let me tell you absolutely 100% unequivocally for certain, I'm absolutely sure that I wanted to quit this doctoral journey. Not really quit, but there were I had some really close times where I wanted to just throw my laptop against the wall, or, my goodness. Yes, it was it was trial and tribulation and trauma and trepidation and all kinds of stuff that I dealt with, during my doctoral journey. And it was on and off for 12 years. And it was like, gosh, can a sister just get a break? Like, can we spread this out? You know, it just seemed like it was one thing after another after another. And I really felt like the enemy was riding my heels. Okay. So I say the enemy because I'm a goddaughter. And if you guys know what that means, you know what that means. So I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I don't know, you know, and, so, you know, the enemy was on my heels, and I just knew that I couldn't quit. It was just something. I got angry a lot. I mean, I said some things I probably shouldn't have said. I know I did some things that I shouldn't have done. And it was just so much. It just seemed like maybe I'm not supposed to get this thing, you know? But then there was something inside of me saying, no, man, you've got to do this. Like, your babies are watching, your mentees are watching, like the school's watching, like you've been at this for a long time and they've extended you grace after grace after grace. Like, you just can't. And there was just something on the inside of me that wouldn't let me. And I just knew that I had to do it, and I was supposed to do it. But I did get discouraged like really badly and was on the verge and on the ledge a lot of times. And you had to be a part of my life to understand what I'm saying, but it was just so much. And I just felt like I couldn't take anymore. And so, but then there was something, it was that thing on the inside, man, that it was just God. I really do think it was just God just harnessing me and just keeping me grounded because, you know, after I finished my temper tantrums, I would, you know, have to go back and get it right with God. So yeah, I would say it was God. But yeah, that was a very critical time in my life. So good question. All right. Next question. How have you built confidence or resiliency over the course of your career? Trial and error and purposefully looking for the lesson. I say trial and error because sometimes you don't know what's happening next. You don't know what you don't know. And so sometimes you just have to go through a process in order to learn from it. And then I say purposefully learning from the lesson. I should preface also the first time so that you're not repeating the same thing over and over and over and you're hitting a brick wall. And all you got to do is just change something, just change part of the dynamics and do something differently and listen, like really inwardly listen so that you can get true guidance on which direction that you're supposed to go in and allow your inner compass to, you know, listen to the inner compass because it's guiding. We just don't listen. So yeah, that would be how I overcome and how I have built my resiliency. And I think you have to be grounded in some type of spiritual belief. Now I've mentioned that I'm a goddaughter. So, you know, I believe in prayer. I believe in having my own personal connection with God. And so I think, you really have to be grounded. And I'm not here to tell anybody what to be grounded in. And that's why I said, some people are religious, some people are spiritual, some people are neither. So you get in where you fit in. But, whatever you do, just be true to it and really be honest with yourself when you're taking a look at yourself and identify what you need to fix and fix it. That's learning the lesson. So you don't keep going, doing the same thing. Learn it. You may bump your head a few times. I mean, that's natural. That's human error and human process, but try to learn the lesson sooner rather than later. Hear me, please, baby sisters. Hear me when I say that. Get off the horse sooner. Okay. All right. This is a good one. Do you have a mentor? And if so, how many and how did you find them? So do I have a mentor? Yes, I have multiple mentors. How many? It all depends on what's going on in my life. Like I have a business mentor. I have a mental health kind of mentor. I have some friends that are mentors that are successful and, I'm coachable. So most of the time anyway, I'm coachable. And so I seek out mentorship, especially if there's something that I really want to do. So like I want to open up, let's just say, because this is something I'd like to do. I'd like to open up a bed and breakfast. I'm not going to just fumble through trying to figure out how to start a bed and breakfast because I've never done that before, or an Airbnb. I'm going to contact somebody that's successful in it and say, hey, you've already done this. I'm looking at doing something similar to this. Can you mentor me? So my Aunt Thelma says nothing beats a failure but a try. So if you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed. Ask, and you'll be surprised that people will say yes if you ask them to mentor, and they feel kind of flattered too that you would even ask them. So yeah, just take a shot at it. Don't recreate the wheel. If there's somebody that's already done something that you want to do, connect with them and just ask for help. That's it. Ask for help. I had to learn that the hard way because I hate asking for help. I would always give it. I hated asking. And I tell you, I had to learn that we weren't built to do everything by ourselves, even though we feel invincible, and we have that S on the back of our back, or on our chest or the cape on. No, we need help. We do. So ask for help if you feel like you need it, if you know you need it. Who has inspired you the most? Wow. I would have to say there's a lot of women that have inspired me, or a lot of people. I'm going to say women because I've mostly been inspired by women. I'm going to say, number one, I'm going to say my mom, because my mom, I watched the hustle. I watched the grind, right? That's where the grind comes from Grace and Grind. I saw that. Number two, I would say my godmother, Dolores, who had me to type her entire master's thesis. This is the funny story between us, okay? And she promised that she was going to pay me. Now, this lady had assumed the role of my mother, so trust me, no charge, right? But she said she was going to pay me. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm getting paid. And I typed well and I typed fast. And I don't know, I don't even know if I was a teenager yet. Maybe middle school. She gave me $1, y'all, for typing. Now, for those of you that have your master's degree, y'all know how many pages a master's thesis is. But anyway, I have called on that master thesis so many times and my doctoral journey. And I told my godmother this story that I would tell myself, girl, if you could type a master's thesis at 11, 12 years old, surely you can do this. Surely you can do this. And so that was really, nobody around me was getting a master's degree or a degree of any kind, really. So a master's, like, what is that? So that was my first introduction to education, right? And I saw the type of lifestyle that education afforded her. I watched the journey. I watched the climb, right? And that. And then my godmother, Earlina, who was the first epitome of a lady that I saw personally, like up close and personal. It was impressive to see. That's all I can say. And when you put those three women together, you end up with me, striving for education, hustle and grinding, and just can't stop, won't stop, and exhibiting the best qualities I can of myself. And that's what I want how I want the world to see me. That's me. Those would be the women that inspired me to most. Now, here's what's surprising. I never used to say my mother, like the lady that birthed me. And it wasn't until I no longer had my mom. My mom passed away May 21st of last year. And up until that time, well, not up until that time, because we had mended our fences like only a couple of months ago. But I had a lot of anger and resentment towards my mom. I loved her, but I was angry because she withheld some information from me that I felt was vital for my survival. And so she ended up, telling me on her deathbed, and I forgave her and she forgave me for my antics. And, I was going to be dedicated. I was going to be there. Me and my sister, Sandy, we were going to be there regardless. But the point that I'm making is my anger blocked my ability to see the impact that my mother really had on my life. Like, I'm telling you, if you're mad at your mother, fix it, because I couldn't imagine my mother passing away and I still had this. Oh my God, I'm so thankful. So I can't beg with you enough. If you are angry with your mother, I'm telling you, you do not want her to go to her grave and you have not had a conversation of forgiveness, because that's for you. That's not for her. That's for you. Okay. Yeah. I started just really thinking about, she really did impact my life a lot in so many different ways. And I couldn't see it because I was so angry, so I'm so thankful that that has been lifted from my soul because gosh, that was an anchor. And yet, yeah. So now I can add my mom to that list and feel so proud to say that. So yeah, that's some healing there. How do you balance career, personal life, and passions? Okay. I need a coach for mentor for this because I don't know on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I probably do this a 5 because I don't feel like I balance career, life and passion. Some people may say I rock at it. Okay. And I'm probably my worst critic, but I think I have a lot to learn in that area. I think I need to take better care of myself, eat better, exercise. I think I need to take time to be still. I think when I come home, I need to leave work. But when you're a business owner, you can't. Your work goes with you everywhere. And, you're always getting ideas and stuff. And I don't get enough, excuse me, I don't get enough sleep. And so I need to take better care of myself and I need to schedule work and instead of working from 8 a.m. until 2 in the following morning. And I need to give more attention to my passion because I know that that is my God work. I know that that is where my magic happens. And I know that that is when God uses me to help people to change their lives. And that's where when I'm operating in my passion, that's where my natural giftings, talents, and abilities lie is, training and coaching and training and development. I mean, God gave me that. And I know that no questions asked. Okay. That was a good question too. These girls have really given me some good questions. This one says, what is the secret to your success? I don't quit. I used to quit a lot because I don't know if that's just the Gemini in me, but I get bored very easily with people, places, and things. Okay. That's just my truth. And so sometimes I just want to try it out of curiosity just to see. I wonder if that'll work. And then I'll do it and it'll work. And then I'll say, okay, I figured it worked, so I don't have to do it again. But if I would have just stuck with that one thing then and I knew it worked and just kept doing that, man, I would be a gazillionaire right now. But the way I'm wired, I got to try something else, right? And totally unique is number 1. And my doctoral program is number 2. The number 2 things that I've put my hand, my time, and my money to that I haven't quit. I haven't quit. And I'm really proud of that because I would just be off to the next because, like I said, I get bored easily. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's a really good question. Thank you, darling, for asking me that. What do I want to do next? I remember us having this conversation and you said to me that you achieve everything that you have ever told me you're going to do. Dr. Pamela, you've done it. And I remember us talking about this. So it's strange that because I think I asked this, but maybe you want to share this with everybody else. So I'll answer it. I would like to really expand the Totally Unique Institute of Excellence, the etiquette and workforce development component of the educational consultants umbrella. I would really like to see that program in schools. I would like to train a group of dedicated and committed younger ladies that want to know how to do what I know how to do and would trust me with coaching them. And I would love to have a cadre of young ladies that I could train, that they could duplicate me so that we can go into these schools and start in the 5th grade, right at the beginning of middle school or right before they go, to start really drilling down the way you behave now matters. You can't wait until you become an adult to start to hone your habits for your behavior and to identify your own code of conduct. Like, I think that is so crucial that we reach these babies sooner rather than later. Yeah, and we go in and we just do the daggone thing. That's it. All right, that's all the questions that I have time for. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Grace and Grind podcast. I have been your host, Dr. Pamala Brown-Grinion, and I am the CEO of Totally Unique Educational Consultants. Find me on social media at I am Pamala, Pamala, or TYEC LLC. Again, thank you so much. Join me in 2 weeks for the next episode, and we are going to have some more dynamic discussion. Until then, let's kick some glass together.